Howdy, howdy. Hello, everybody out there. We're gonna have, this is gonna be fun. And just so we know, yes, I look very very Florida. Just came off the golf course, but I don't golf. So this is just, you know, I'm a Northeasterner. I used to always wear dark clothes, and then after like 3 years living in Florida, I have friends from Chicago, and they're like, "You should really start dressing like nice colors." I'm like, I don't, and I gotta be honest with you, I'm committing. I'm committing to my age. I'm committing that I got to get rid of this. I'm committing that I'm wearing white pants, and I'm embracing. The word is embracing. I'm 58. I still have a pulled muscle in my ass, and I'm wearing like I'm going golfing, and I'm committing to that. So this is going to be, all right. Let me just start with this. Last week's show, when it ended, quick with my wife, I said, let's dodge town. And we went to Belize, and we were in Belize, and we were literally visiting people, but it's in a it's third world country-ish. They still have huts. They just started building roads. They're starting to build sidewalks. Not Belize City. This is a different part of Belize. And while I was there, you know, I read some of your messages, and some of the messages are, a lot of them are, hey man, I had one very aggressive person. He said he wasn't aggressive, but I'm telling you, we're aggressive. He would write, hey man, at least this is how I would read it, because certain words were capital. He go, you said turn off the noise, but you keep playing the noise. I want to see comedy. I don't want to see Trump sending bombs to Israel. Stop the politics. Stop the politics. And I hear you. I hear you loud and clear. You're right. You're right. And I'm not going to lie to you. I don't enjoy it. So I try to force it because I think it's topical. I'm not a very good topical guy. I'm really not. But when we do it, so, you know, I'd read a few of those messages. Hey man, I'm trying to turn it. Why are you talking about that? And it was one in particular that was really moving, really inspiring. And they talked about their life a little bit. And they said, man, when you're uplifting, it's so amazing. So with that, I'm trying to keep away from news. I literally would leave my phone down and then would just leave it for like 2 hours. But I'd find myself saying, hey man, I got to go to the bathroom. And I would go and I'd just be like, all right, just 3 seconds reading Instagram messages or whatever. And I'm like, wow, this is not good. And so I left the noise. And there's days where I'm like, you know what? I think we're all going to start looking after one another. Maybe there'll be another day where we start looking after one another. You know, start looking. And that's when I learned being in Belize. There's people in huts. You know, they'd be selling little fruits on the side. And this was the mind blow. I think it's a mind blow for a lot of us. I said, how much for this? How much for that? And the guy's like, you know, it's like $3 for them. Like, $3. He goes, yeah. And I went to give him $5. And he goes, no. I don't want extra money. That's what it costs to grow this and grow that. I said, no, man, take $5. He's like, no. And then some of the people I met, they say it's hard for them to want to work. Now, a lot of us will immediately say, well, that's because they're lazy. They're lazy. That's why we stick them here, we stick them there, go do the grants, and they're lazy. Because no, well, maybe some, but the reason is, and I quote, we have everything we need. I was like, what do you mean by that? Because this one guy is telling me, I don't want a car. I got a bike. He goes, your friend offered me an electric bike. I don't want an electric bike. I like taking my time. I was like, what? What are you talking about? He's like, I like just, you know, if it takes me a half hour to get to the grocery store, I take my time, but I got mangoes in here. I got oranges. We have cattle up the street. We make fires. We pull the plant, and we just, you know, we hang out. We don't have to go, I got to go get educated and go to school, and we got to make sure that we get a big degree, and we can, oh my God, maybe we'll get a scholarship and go here, and we'll learn to be really smart. And I'll have a tassel and go, look, I deserve 6 figures. And then I got a car, and I got married, and I got a nicer car, and I'm paying $300 a month, and I'm constantly going in debt. You're like, we don't need that. I got a mango and a bike, and they're happy. We have everything we need. That is kind of something I'm going to hit on today. So I come back here and I'm seeing all these messages. I don't know how it started getting in my feed, but I'd see a certain comedian and then some other comedians trashing Joe Rogan, trashing Theo Von, trashing other podcasters. And I went, what is going on? And then I took a good look at who it was, and I know this player very well, very well. And this is where, to me, this is like a lesson of society. Like, first of all, comedians, oh my God, I got so much to say about this. I'm going to start with the gut. So, you know what? Play this video, because I started looking at, because I would get, this really personally bothered me, and I'm going to get into why this bothers me. But I got to say, this guy, Andrew Schultz, I don't care if you know him. I don't care if you think he's funny. I don't care if you think he's entertainment. But in my opinion, he summed it up perfectly. And this isn't just about a comedian. This is about our society. It's our society, how we treat one another. Listen to what Andrew Schultz says.
Rogan was the way to make it for a 6 or 7 year stretch. It was like you went on Rogan. I saw it happen to me. Like, going on Rogan, life changed immediately, right? And when that was the case, all these comics were real fucking quiet. Nobody said a peep. No one said, and if they disagreed with something, they were just silent. Now, going on Rogan once isn't going to immediately change your career.
Yeah, I remember you said you went from comedy clubs to theaters. I went a few years later. I went from comedy clubs to more people in a comedy club.
Well, that's more. But like, and then what happened is, I think a lot of comics saw like Kill Tony being the way to make it, right? So nobody was going to talk shit about Rogan, and nobody's going to talk shit about Tony. And now you see Kill Tony, and the people that really explode from there are like more character based, right? So then comics go, okay, well, I can't make it immediately off of Rogan, I can't make it immediately off Tony. I guess I'll sandbag these motherfuckers while, you know, the internet is coming after them. I think that's what it is. I think it's purely, where is my salvation? And now they see their salvation as like, oh, I'm going to separate myself from the manosphere because there's so much criticism on the internet. It's like, no, that's the time where you should lean into the people who helped you. That's the time where you should be a good, solid friend. That's the time where you should refute fake narratives about someone who helped you when you offered nothing to him.
Now, here's the thing, too. The people that are, first of all, I'm going to talk about the guy that did it is this guy, Mark Maron. He started the whole thing. Now, here's the sad part about Mark Maron. He has an incredible journey. He really did. And I'll tell you my history with him. All right? And I'm more sad that this is still in people that are successful and that they do great for themselves and they inspire other people. Mark Maron, in the very beginning, I would play the comic strip in New York. I would play downtown. I would get in a lot of clubs. You know, I'm animated. I get loud. I'm a storyteller. I'm not very good at joke. Other guys are brilliant at it. And Mark would, you know, before I'd go up on stage, he couldn't stand me. He didn't like me. He couldn't. What he didn't like is the fact that the people were losing their minds in the comic strip. I would rush on a Friday night. Ray Romano, Wanda Sykes, crush. I'd go up, crush. It was like the energy in that room. But then I'd get humbled. And I know that was only funny for that moment. It's great to do, but I also knew, okay, this is where my strength is. And then I'd go downtown where it was way harder. It wasn't set up for an animated comedian. Places like The Cellar, you just had to stand and be joke tellers. And it created really good comedians. I'd go down there and I'd get humbled. You know, they can, all right, we get your face. You better come up with a different angle. The stage is really small. So before I'd go on stage at the comic strip, Mark would, on my life, he'd go, Breuer, you're gonna woo them tonight with your animation and your little fingers, your little finger puppets. And I never got mad because I could see, right, like it kills you that someone is doing better in your opinion. And it wasn't even better. It's just different. I'm doing something different. You crush it in this arena. You crush it. Everyone's serving ice cream here, and some lines are longer than the other, and some people love it more. Everyone's doing great with their ice cream. There's plenty of ice cream stands. When I go up here, I crush it. What's that? I got a line around the block. When I go down, no one wants to buy it. They're taking it and throwing it on the floor. This ice cream sucks. You're not smart. And that was a niche for him. He wanted to be the smart guy. He wanted to be the intelligent guy, which I give him props for doing. You know, he would do routines that were like everyone. He'd talk about the gym, but he'd, throw in a educated word or look extremely smart and I'm above the room and I'm better than you. And he's good at that. That's what he believes. So he'd come up to me before the show. Hey, Breuer, you're going to woo him. And he's doing it for my wife. And I was just like, okay. Now, he was also the type of guy who he was so angry that people from TV were checking me out. They were checking other people out. It drove him crazy. I would never sell out. You couldn't catch me in one of these. You couldn't catch me. So then he gets his first TV show on Comedy Central. And I would watch him. I was happy that a comedian was doing something. And then I remember seeing him like 2-3 months later. He's the TV guy. And when someone gets TV, they're like, whoa, man, Maron's on TV. Someone's on TV. And they're all excited. And I, with my wife as a witness, walked up to him. And we said, Mark, it's awesome that you're doing that show. You're really good on there. And he was like, what? You guys messing with me? Quote, unquote. You guys messing with me? I said, no, you're good on there. He's like, oh, well, there's a bunch of writers and, it's tough to get my jokes on. I can imagine. I bet you if they let you write it, it would be 10 times funny. And he couldn't take the compliments because he knew he couldn't stand he can't stand me. This poor human being will be home going, damn that Breuer with his animation. Damn him, I'm going to write smarter words. I'm going to be more intelligent. I'm going to be smart and self-righteous. I'm sorry, Mark. I know I'm going to hear it from you now. But I was happy. A few of us were happy. Everyone like shooting him down. And then Lorne Michaels and SNL came up to me my second year. He said, Jim, what do you think about Mark Maron? On my life. And as God is my witness, I said, Lorne, he's not my favorite person. I'm not going to end up hanging out with him, but I will tell you this. If you're thinking about putting him on the update, which is what they were talking about to replace Norm, I said he would crush it. He would crush it on update. He'd be a great update guy. Even though you're going to woo him with your little animation, Breuer. You're going to do your finger puppets. I was happy for him. And I was hoping he'd get it. He didn't get it. But then where I really, really felt so great for Mark was he started this podcast, the WTF. And it blew up. It was on like the independent film channel. And back then I was like, whoa, this is everything he'd want. Independent film channel. He's, you know, he's alternative. He's smart. This is on the edge. I mean, all my life, I was like, good for Mark. I was so happy for him, and I'd watch him, and I loved what he was doing. I love what he does. Every comedians all go to this comedy festival every once in a while in Montreal. You know, we go there, and in the years we'd call it the comedy slave block. So if you went up, all the executives and television are all there, and you get up and you do your bit, and you'd be like, I'll take Jim Breuer, hold him for 5 months for 50 grand. I'm NBC, I'll buy Jim Breuer and give him one of our best executive producers for 150. Do I hear 175? Do I have 175? 175 and a stand-up comedy special. I have 100, and that's what they were. That's what they, I'm being honest, that's what they were. And, but as time went on, it doesn't happen anymore. But it's sort of, in my opinion, became the new Peacock feather showing. So in other words, if you go to the Montreal Comedy Festival, like any other festival, you have the super duper headline. Like, whoa, I didn't know they can get the super duper, you know, arena guy or the stadium guy. And it would be that. And everyone hangs out in one hotel, and he's like, this guy's like, I don't know if you know it, but I got a brand new Netflix special. Peacock. And everyone be at the bar like, oh my God, so-and-so's on the bar. Like, he's blowing up. It was a lot of that. And, you know, it's cool. It's what comics do. And Mark is crushing it with his podcast. He's brilliant, captivating. I would listen to him. I was happy for him. I'm happy for him. And I went up to him in Montreal, and I said, Mark, man, I'm so happy for you. You look so happy. And he was. He said, thanks, man. Thank you. And I saw this whole other human being, not a comedian. I saw a human being. I was like, I'm there. I'm there. I fought my ass off. I went down every possible avenue. I went down this corner, and here I am. And I was so happy. On my life, I was so happy for him. I am happy for him. And then he's like, hey, man, come on the show. I went and did the show, and I had a great time, and I told him the Lawrence story. But to hear a guy at that level of what he accomplished, to start taking pot shots at Rogan and his whatever and Theo Von, how do you not cheer that on? Like a guy like a Marin, you built yourself an empire. You're an inspiration. When people are doing the things that you've done and then some, how do you not see that as, wow, this is amazing? Or are those buildings too much? This is society. This is society. I was first on the block. My building was here before any other building. And now they're building skyscrapers, and you're like, well, I was the first shop in town. Yeah, you were. And I used to, yeah. Well, there's a lot of other ones that are 10 times bigger. Some of them been here for 6 months. Some of them been here for 5 years. Some of them been here for 15, 20 years. What has that got to do with your success? But when we're at a point in life, if you're still, as a human being, blowing out other people's candles to make yours look brighter, how do we still have that mentality? Let me tell you guys about something about Joe Rogan. I strive to be a Joe Rogan in the way he opens conversation. He sits and he opens the conversation. You want to talk about XYZ? The door is wide open and it's on this manner. It's right here. It's give and take. At least that's what I've been seeing. Maybe I'm crazy. And I watched Rogan when we started in the clubs years ago. He was part of the block. Here comes Joe Rogan, $50,000, get him on this series. And he was off to the races. So he played the comedy clubs. He worked his way up. Then it was the television, what we all strive for. And then even then, the character of a Rogan, I was like, because I wanted leather pants. I wanted kangaroo. I wanted a star on the, I swear to God, I was like, I'm going to get earrings. Thank God I didn't make it when I was younger. I'd be a dick right now. I'd be a dick. I'd be on 5 wives, 30 kids. I'm like, that kid's not mine. I would have been a mess. And Joe was always like, hey man, you want to go to the gym? I ain't going to the gym. LA. He was always about the fitness. He was always about working out. He would debate people. He would, and I watched him get in television. I'd watch him debate people in public, one-on-one. This is something, he always was searching for something deeper. And then he was always into fighting. Now he's in the fighting world. And then he starts the podcast. And he grows into that of he single-handedly took down CNN during COVID. Does everyone understand that? Joe Rogan, when we were in the midst of when we were in the midst of put your mask on, don't take ivermectin. Don't take it. Bring on the late night crew. Don't drink the horse goo. The pressure. You better get vaccinated. Go get vaccinated. Don't take that ivermectin. That's not science. It's not going to make us money. Do you understand? And he did it in the most brilliant way. He brought on the CNN doctor. After Joe, you don't have to like Rogan. This guy that built this empire from the comedy clubs, from going through the scene, literally in front of the world to see, got COVID. He told the world, hey man, I got COVID. And then he told the world, and this is how, I'm not saying I'm a doctor, this is how it went away. And this is when it blew my mind that people still want to hold on to. No, I don't believe it because on the television it says that we need to get this and that. And on the television it says it's misinformation. And on the television, it's just saying the television. He said, this is what I did, and it's gone. And the machine did their very best to make him and all the true believers that went by their instinct and trusted themselves and didn't give in to fear, he was fearless. Rogan was fearless. We need humans that are fearless. When you're insulting someone else's success from someone that built their life, that's not fearless. That's allowing your ego, your self-righteousness. It's everything that humanity, we can't continue with this mentality. After he got COVID, he told the world, this is what I did. He brought on the guy from CNN, the doctor, and caught him red-handed, admitting CNN lied. They lied. And people still watch it. Rogan did that. I didn't see any other podcast do that. I didn't see any corporate media do that. I didn't see professionals come out and do that. Joe Rogan did that. Joe Rogan's a threat to people that still allow self-righteousness to rule their life. Joe Rogan's a threat if you can't handle truth sometimes. Joe Rogan is a threat because he built his empire of his life and he's opening the door for so many others. And just because you can't accomplish that, shame on you for throwing rocks at the hill because you're so angry, putting your neck up going, I shouldn't be that big. I deserve to be that. I'm so much smarter. These are the same people that, Larry the Cable Guy, he's not funny, or that comedy is stupid. It's when you go in an art gallery, some art galleries, I want nothing to do. They don't do anything for me. Then you go in another, I'm like, this is amazing. And then other people go, I don't get it. Because it's not for you, and some things aren't for me. But that doesn't mean it sucks, or it doesn't mean you're better. You're not better because you think you're smarter. You're not better because you think you were the first one. You're not better because of what you think you deserve in life. That man, multiple times, stuck his neck out for truth. When someone was stealing or accused of stealing, our community, we get stolen from a lot. Ideas get stolen, jokes get stolen, and it's very frustrating when you see someone break off success however they stole. They didn't work their way up, they stole a lot. Now, I'm no one to judge, but I do remember a time where Rogan went on stage. I personally really didn't watch a whole lot of TV, and I didn't watch this comedian a whole lot, but other comics I would work with would always accuse this person. And I go, really? Like, how do you not? And I'm just being God's honest truth. And then the famous clip came out where Joe's on stage and calls him out. But I'm telling you, the industry, everybody was going, this one steals. And then it was on TV. There is at least one bit that made me go, oh, actually 2 bits went, oh, okay. 2 of the biggest bits you can imagine. One from Kinnison, in my opinion, and one from Bill Cosby. And yes, that Bill Cosby. However, you can't hide the fact that he is like word for word. Not even trying to hide it. Joe chose truth. He went up there and he said, hey, man, you've been taken, and these little guys, I can't say anything. Here, whether you took it from or not, you're taking. And this person was TV. This person was selling out arenas. But Joe knew the truth. And I remember talking to him. He said, my agent dumped me. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he said, I need to apologize. Unless I don't apologize, they got to dump me. You believe that, Breuer? They don't care if you steal. They don't care if you cheat. They don't care as long as they get their ratings, as long as they get their corporates. Corporations don't care. Television don't care. Steal. Be on Epstein's list. Whatever it is that you do that most people with morals would never do, do it, and we'll make you famous. We don't care as long as the numbers are up. He lost his agent and had to start all over again. And then he built his empire, and then he has a podcast. And this isn't a 2-year podcast. This ain't a 10-year podcast. Rogan blew out years ago. It was like, you got to get on late night TV and go do Johnny Carson, probably the greatest of all time. Carson. You went on Carson, you were a star the next day. Don't kid yourself. Every comedian out there goes, God, I wish I was on Rogan. If I could just, man, if I could just once get on. Every one of them. Because that's the only human being where the whole world will go, what's up with this guy? Like, what's going on? What's going on with this comedian? But come on, man. And for the young comics out there, you know, his club. Again, are we really, as a society, not just as comedians, as a society, really going to do this to yourselves? If, you know, when I went to his club, when I went to Rogan's club, I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him. If Mark Maron opened a club and I was never allowed to play, I wouldn't be bitter. I wouldn't care. I would understand. He doesn't like that style of club, but I'd be happy for him. And to go after a guy like Theo Vaughn's another guy, went to California. No one could figure him out. He's sitting there. He's doing what we all do. We're trying to figure it out. And guess what? He goes to Nashville. He starts doing his own podcast. He's trying to clean up. He figured it out as a human. As a human. And he's another one. Opens doors. He's just still in the learning process. He's still climbing up the ladder. If you really cared, maybe you call him. Hey, man, be careful of this and blah, 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 and don't get caught up in this and blah, blah, blah. If you really cared, but people don't. Because their ego rules them. Their self-righteous owns them. And their insecurity may own them. And they're filled with fear. So sorry. I know this is a lot on Rogan, but it really bothers me when people don't look at what this man has accomplished as a human being. You know how many times, you know, I honestly think it was because it became political and you think he's this or whatever, and he swayed the election, whatever it is. Let's say whatever you want to believe and be mad at, be better. Be better. Build a new empire. Build a new empire. Build a comedy club. Build whatever you like. But don't stand there and look at, hey, this town is down, they're stupid. And then that's another thing. If you're going to do it, make the phone call. You go on public. You go on, that's where you shoot your missiles from? I'll go on this podcast where I'm safe and no one can debate me, and I'll get to say whatever I want, just like an old hen, just gossiping about the people I don't like. That's what you sound like. And then you got the other little hens going, yeah, I agree. Do you realize how goofy that looks? And for all you young comedians, hey man, if you don't listen, when I walked into Rogan's club, I'm not gonna lie to you, I got humbled. I walked in there, hey, you know, I have some nice accomplishments. I did okay in life. Okay, we're in Rogan. There's a couple young guys in there. Howie Mandel is in the corner. I'm going to say he got humbled a little bit too. I can't speak for Howie, but the two of us back in the day were like, hey, you're on television. I'm like, man, I do pretty good for myself. And we're pretty okay guys here in the green room. Some of the young kids, they could care less. And then they were like, hey, man, you want to go in the little room and do this thing we get? I'm like, I don't know. And I realized I've been out of that ring for a long time. But you're going to do 15 minutes. I'm like, 15 minutes? I don't know if I can do 15 minutes. My stories go on. Like, I got long stories, man. I start at 8:05 and it ends at 9:20. And I'm still talking about the first story. Meanwhile, you know, tomorrow's gonna be like 18 people on the. Did you see Jim Breuer? All he does is tell stories, and they go on and on and on and on. I'm the guy that used to work for this, so therefore, this is my new character, and I'm gonna be a bottom feeder too. Well, I'm the insult guy, but I'm hip. My Band-Aid's here, my Band-Aid's there, my Band-Aid's here. I wear a hat. I've got a tattoo on my face. This guy sucks, that guy sucks, this guy sucks, but I'm cool. Hey, I don't know if you know me, but I used to do this. I'm the ex this guy. I'm the really cool ex this person. I'm way better than so-and-so and so-and-so, so-and-so. So listen to me, because I got something to say. You suck, you suck, you suck, you suck. I'm hip and cool. See you in my next video. Quack, quack. Wait. Like, what do you... These are the people that are making the insults. We are at a time in life where I encourage this behavior because now we see who is going to spiritually grow, who is going to continue with the truth, who's going to continue to look after each other, and who are the ones that are always going to cast stones. Who are the ones that are always going to try to blow out your candle? Who's the ones that are going to be the insulters? And I got to say, my hat's off to a Theo Von. My hat's off to freaking Schultz. The first time I saw him, I did a tour, I don't know, 2014, maybe I don't know. And we were in Europe. I've never seen him before. And I want to say it was like with 3 other comedians. And we were in like, I remember Iceland, maybe Denmark, Sweden. I've never seen Schultz before, right? I would watch him take the stage. He was so confident. I could not believe this guy would be in front of an audience where they know English, but they can't really speak it well. And he would just sit on his bench and he'd start talking to everyone and he'd slip into a bit here and slip into a bit there. But he was, I was like, this, I call him a kid because you look like a kid to me back then. And I'd be like, this kid. Wow. And then I started watching him every night and I just kept going, wow. And I know I went up to him. I said, hey, man, I want to shake your hand now because, yeah, it's going to be fun to watch you go. And here he is. Here he is. And he made it on his own. And he built his own empire. And he supports what he can support. I don't hear this guy saying, I would never do that. Why does this guy do that material? And why does that guy do that material? Like, what? We got to learn, not only, and comedians, to be honest with you, we're the last ones that get to question everything. We question everything. We get to do that. Just because someone's a little bigger than you doesn't mean you're better and you deserve more. Doesn't mean that at all. Maybe some people make it because they're good souls. I remember when we first started, one of the greatest guys in the world was Carrot Top. I saw him go on stage and absolutely blow the headliner, just blew him off the stage. And then the whole industry was like, he's a prop act. I go, are we all in the business of, there's a law? We got a law? Thou shalt must write jokes that are 1 minute with ha-has every 3. Here's the rules. You're not allowed to bring a puppet. You're not you can't dance, whatever it is. Is it my thing? No, because I don't think I can hold an audience that long. But again, that's the first time I saw it just cynical, like, it's funny. Maybe not to you, but that doesn't mean you're better or you deserve more. If you live your life thinking you always deserve more, you're going to have a tough time through life, no matter who you are. No matter who you are. I deserve more. God! Do you know how smart I am? You know how good I am? Good God. So, I praise these guys, and I'm not, I don't need to. I feel it's a necessity. Because we're not pointing out the incredible things that these human beings have done. Way more than most of you or anyone else could say, I'll tell you that right now. So, with that said, can we all just get along? Now, it took a long time. My God, what'd that take? 44 minutes? That was 44. Are people still listening? They leave me a while ago. I'm proud of you guys. I mean, oh my God. All right. I want to make sure I got the Comedy Club podcast is my super. As the madness continues, I want to show you guys. I'm going to show you guys 2 things that I found. And I tried to find something that could shift our energy towards maybe we'll all learn a little something. You over there in Israel, you over there in Qatar, you over there in London, you over there in Melbourne, and you over there in Newark, New Jersey. Watch this video. Just watch this video, all right? And then we'll talk about it. It's uplifting for all the yous going, let's go politics. No, this is spirit. I'm listening to you. Just watch this.
Oh, you know that belief is a doubt.
How is belief a doubt?
Because you cannot believe something and know it. You can only believe in what you don't know.
I like that. You can only believe in what you don't know.
You don't know.
That's why you have to believe it.
Yes.
Ah.
Now, do you believe in your mother and father?
No, I know my mother and father.
Yeah. So, but you might believe in Jesus.
I might believe in Jesus.
Because you don't know Jesus.
I've never met him.
You can only believe in what you don't know. If I get water,
yeah,
it's quite simple, innit?
Yeah.
I get a black can,
yeah,
a white one,
yeah,
a blue one, and a yellow one, and I fill them with water and seal them. What would you see?
Nothing, just the white or the black.
You would see the different colors.
The different colors.
And if you trust those eyes of yours,
yeah,
you're going to believe that they're different, aren't you?
I will believe it.
Until you go and fucking taste them.
Correct.
And what are you going to discover?
That it's all just water.
All one. Oneness in diversity, we call it.
Yeah.
Now you see all these human beings that you see. They're spirits living in different color physical bodies. We are not our bodies. When you look with the eyes, you're not seeing me, you are seeing the body. When you look at my body and say I'm a black man, that is a program. You was programmed from birth, yeah, to believe that you are blacks and whites. But you fuck all like that. You're just a spirit in a body full of the same stinking shit.
That's a powerful statement. Because again, I always say the noise, the politics, the wars, the politicians, all of it keeps us, blacks need to show more black people beating other people up. Sure, white people have to fear them. Show more white people, say white supremacists more. Hey, show is divide and conquer, divide and conquer, divide and conquer, divide and conquer. And every asset of humanity, they have dehumanized us. Even right down to, listen, I'm going to tell you a little story, okay? The world, let's take a ball player, okay? Let's take a ball player. I knew this ball player, famous, very famous, signed with the New York Yankees, okay? Signed with the New York Yankees. He wanted to play with the New York Yankees. It was towards the end of his career. And I was playing somewhere, and he was going to come to the comedy club with me, him, and one other person. He goes, come by my New York City apartment. I go by the apartment. It's ridiculous. It's like the movies. It's just, you can see for miles. The views are insane. It's a penthouse. It's ridiculous. His wife comes out, and you can tell he was a little edgy. And his wife was, I said, hey, how you doing? She's like, good to see you. I said, what's the matter? She went, I hate it here. I hate it here. We can't walk anywhere. They're like freaks here. He walks down the street and there's people with cameras. We didn't have that in the last place we lived. He can't play ball with his kids. He used to play in the backyard with the kids. The kids miss him. He walks down the street with the kids and these bananas are filming him and they're running up to him, not even paying attention to the child. And they're, oh my God, sign this, sign that, sign this. Because we don't see the human being. We see the idol in our heads. Oh my God, you don't even see the child. You don't see the father. You don't see, this is a human being. And the wife said, we're not staying here if we make the playoffs. I heard her say, we're taking the kids away. So no matter what, we're leaving the beginning of October. We're not doing this anymore. I want the kids in the other school and you can live here and live. And he was distraught. He was distraught. His family was in shambles, but he had the penthouse and a brand new car and a a big contract. And he went to New York Yankees, the greatest team in here. And lo and behold, they made it to the playoffs, and I believe he ended up on the injury list. I know another human being, absolutely huge human being, and I watched this person get tormented because his management kept saying, tour more, tour more, tour more, keep going on tour, keep going on tour, right? And he had a drug issue. And I think I was one of his last dates that I ever performed with him. And he probably was going to be one of the greatest comedians of our time. It was Mitch Hedberg. And that was a big lesson for me. The lesson was, wow, never trust the people that run this industry. Because they don't care. If that was my son, I would never send my son out to go do gigs when I knew my son was struggling with his life, with drugs. But hey, I need my commission. This agent needs their commission. This manager needs their commission. And the next one's in line to take your place. That's dehumanizing. We dehumanize. You watch the news, you dehumanize. We need to humanize again. You know when I learned I learned a lot about race. I'll be the first one to tell you, I was racist as I was bad. I was bad. I was bad. Growing up, I was bad. Let's make a confession here. And the stories about they're all laughing and they're all scared to death. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. Okay. But it goes back to this video. This video is hard for a lot of people to learn. Listen, the end of my street was all black people. We were all white. We didn't cross the road. We were scared. We were scared. Because everyone that lived around us, like that's what they do. They read the paper every day in a newspaper. It'd be like, black people bad. They murder, they kill, they rape, they're horrible. If you see one walking down the street, run for your life. Or try to find a really big, heavy woman. They love that. I'm putting them out there. So. It's hacky, and that's okay. I know it is. So with that said, if a black person walked down the street, we'd get intense. Like, and everyone was on guard. And if we go on their side, I would hear, go on the other side, white boy. I'm just being honest. I wasn't scared at that time. They're like, hey, man, go on that side, white boy. I'm coming on this side, white boy. No problem, but you can't come on our side. I'll go get my denim jacket, let you know how serious I am. That's what I would do. Like if I had to go to the candy store, and it was because their side was black and our side was white. If I saw a black guy cross the street, like, oh, God, I got to put on my denim jacket. You don't want any of this, black person. This white kid's got his denim jacket on. I should write that down and work on that. That's right there. I need to work on that, the racism stuff. They're all so nervous. Like, YouTube's going to cancel us any minute. Not if you're honest and you're sincere and you have a good message. So then I worked at Sears, and Sears, I would drive, started becoming friends because it was guys from Jamaica, Queens, black. I'd drive a guy home once in a while, drive a couple guys, some guys home. I'd be freaked out. I'm like, where do you live? Oh, man, I'm like way in there, you know? And I'm like, whoa, I'm in deep in there, boy. Don't get a flat tire. Don't get a flat tire. And then I got this show, the Uptown Comedy Club. And when I got the Uptown Comedy Club, it was in Harlem. So here's this white kid who grew up in an intense racial tension area. And now I'm in Harlem, 125th and 5th. I'm in it. I'm not like on the edge. I'm in it. And that was the beginning of seeing past boundaries of what I was taught, or what I feared, and what I was told to fear. Just like this guy said, if you fill a black bottle, a white bottle, a yellow bottle, all with water, what do you see? You don't see the water inside them. You don't see their souls. You don't see their spirits. You only see this, and this. And whatever it is, that was all programmed. They do this and they like that, and they keep them in those areas. I couldn't believe I'd walk through Harlem and I'd go, why is there... I never heard of walking into a like what I call a candy store and be able to buy 2 cigarettes. Like, how does that work? And I'm like, yo, let me get 1 cigarette. Let me get 2 cigarettes. I'm like, you guys do that? My neighborhood, you can't do it. They're like, here you go, you pack, stupid. I mean, there was none of that. And then I would hang outside on the corner and I would talk to people going, and they were curious. Everyone thought I was a cop. Everybody in Harlem thought I was a police officer on my life. Everyone. And on my life, this one day, this guy comes up to me and he goes, I swear to God, he goes, you know, the problem is the Haitians. This is what he said. He goes, it ain't, you know, people are talking about the Jamaicans, but the Jamaicans work way harder. It's the Haitians. They're bringing here and they work for, and I went, hey man, I'm not a cop. He said, whoa. And he started getting into like, who breaks the law? And I'm like, I'm not a cop, dude. Dude, I'm just standing. He's like, you ain't a cop? What'd you do? I said, no, man, I'm a cast member in the Uptown Comedy Club. And then 2 weeks later, he walked by and was like, yo, man, you stupid. You stupid. And I didn't know what that meant. I meant good. Stupid then was good. You stupid. It was, and then the neighborhood, I'd start parking my car and I'd walk down the street and there was these women I'd always pass and they go, what's up, white boy? You gonna make us laugh today? You gonna make us laugh, white boy? I'm like, I'm gonna do my best. And you know, then my wife's like making cookies and we're cutting them. I had them at my wedding. The point of the story is, I know this sounds corny with a lot of people. I'm being brutally honest. I saw the souls. I didn't see color anymore. I became friends with Tracy Morgan on a level where I sobbed when I thought he might have died in that car crash because he changed my life. He inspired my life. He'll never show that side of him, but he's a deep spiritual human being, like very deep and spiritual. He's extremely uplifting. He's an incredible soul. And we had a conversation one day for what seemed for hours in Harlem. And then I got to know everyone there. And we became friends. We looked after each other. The producers, no one had an ego. There was no, I thought this is what show business was. This was my first taste of real show business. People looking after each other. Everyone would come in like, Jim, come on, man, let's write you a character. I'm like, I'd even have that on SNL. It's just nothing wrong with it. It's just everyone writes for themselves or it wasn't like that. And then I remember after becoming friends and I'd drop off a cast member here and me and Deborah Wilson would talk for hours and Maceo and we became friends. Not just hangout friends, we talk life. When you break the boundary of where did your dad grow up? My dad grew up in this and then he had a heart attack. Oh, dude, my heart attack. You start talking about family. You start talking about your adventures as a family. You're talking about the struggles of your family. You're talking about the struggles of life. And then we start bonding closer and you realize if this person's no different than my friend Larry. This guy's just like this one's just like my Aunt Rhea. And I would walk down the street. It felt so good. It felt so good to be able not to walk down. And I understood the whole fear thing, meaning if I didn't have that experience, you know, sometimes the fear in your eye, like people walk down the street and they'll be like, oh my God, there's like 3 black people coming this way when I'd be in Harlem. And they're like, oh God. You know, some people like will you see that fear. You see the fear. I've had that, you know, years ago, whatever, just a couple of us, I'd see someone coming our way and they would have this fear like, oh God, they're all wearing leather jackets, they're going to beat us up. And part of me would be like, dude, are you really scared of us? And part of me was like, yeah, you bet. Give you something to be scared about. But the breaking these boundaries and then I remember going home to my town that I grew up in. And I was going there to fluff my peacock feathers. I don't know if you guys know it, but I'm on television. You might want to turn on Channel 5. It's Uptown Comedy Club. Comes on at midnight. And I tell the bartender, swear to God, the place is not there anymore. And I see someone I went to school with. And he goes, Jimbo, you know, how you been? I was, I'm on this TV show. He goes, really? I go, yeah, watch. It's called the Uptown Comedy Club. And he's watching with like one other guy, right? And you see, and Jim Breuer's like, dude, that's awesome. And then he starts seeing all the black cast members. And then it starts. And I'm watching like, oh my God, these guys, bro, if you knew Maceo, last night me and Maceo, we hung out at 2 a.m. We were howling, laughing, you know, talking about our wives. We were cracking up. Then we were howling together. We hung out, dude. We cried at one point. And this guy, I'm not just saying this. This is, I'm being extremely real. He turned and he went, what's it like working with? And he hits the word. And it was a moment in my life where I went, whoa. I can't be mad. And I tried to explain. I said, no, you don't understand. These guys, my bro, I have such a good time. That's Yee Yee. Yee Yee writes all the top cop sketches. And he goes, he was mad that I was defending them. Oh, so you gotta like pretend to like it because they pay you. However, I knew at that moment, it's not a moment to get mad. I know that sounds crazy. What it made me realize is I have moved on to a whole different human being. I was that person. This person never had the experiences. Their only experiences are from the television. Their only experiences was from the newspaper they got every day to read. So of course they're like that. But no one ever does rallies to take down news. No one ever does rallies to let's get rid of newspapers that are constantly dividing and using words like these terrorists, more white people, black this. Those are words to stir your hate, your division, and it's there to program you. Do yourself a favor. Everyone do yourself a favor. Tomorrow, let's start tomorrow. Go grab a newspaper, okay, and watch any news channel, but you cannot get emotionally involved. You can't get emotionally involved. And at the end of the day, see all the words that they use before you even have time to assess what they're talking about. I guarantee you will see latest terrorist attack, these low life, blood. They're already giving you the headlines. They already fed you the disease that you, yes, tell me about these terrorists so I can hate them more. Tell me about these blacks so I can fear them more. Tell me more about the division so I can feel better in my porch and take down other podcasts that aren't as good as mine. That's all it is. But it blew I couldn't argue with the guy. It wouldn't have made sense. I also can't hate the person because at the end of the day, it's not his fault. That's all he was programmed to do. And when we start discovering how programmed we are and how easy it is to look at little examples like what this video did, it slowly starts making so much more sense. Are you guys still with me or no? They didn't drop off? You guys are still there? Dude, I love you guys. Love you guys. Okay. I don't like the way when I look in the screen, I look really heavy. Am I that heavy? Is my face fat? You serious? You're not lying? No one's calling me a fat Jimmy on the... Okay. All right. Okay, this one might get a little... No, let's just go for it. Let's just play this. Watch this. Listen. More about the listen. Okay? Listen to the words.
You say you're a Christian, then don't tell me about church on Sunday if you're silent on slaughter come Monday. Because Jesus didn't bomb villages. Jesus didn't bulldoze homes. Jesus didn't put children in cages or drop white phosphorus on hospitals. No, the Jesus I know flipped tables in temples and stood with the poor, the exiled, the beaten down. That's why if you truly follow Christ, you stand with the oppressed, not the oppressor. You stand with Palestine as their homes are stolen and their bodies buried beneath rubble. You stand with Yemen as U.S.-made bombs rip through wedding tents and water tanks. You stand with Iran as sanctions choke its people while billionaires feast. You can't wear the cross and carry the whip. You can't serve Christ and Caesar at the same time. You either walk with the Prince of Peace or you march with the merchants of war. It's like putting holy water on a missile and calling it mercy. You can't baptize brutality and think God's going to bless it. So when someone says, as a Christian, I stand with Iran, Palestine, and Yemen, you know what that is? That's not politics. That's prophecy. That's faith in action. That's the gospel on its feet. And yet some so-called Christians wrap themselves in flags, cheer on genocide, and pray to a state, not to a savior. They traded the Sermon on the Mount for military aid and silence. Don't tell me about your Christianity if your God has no place for Arabs, no mercy for Muslims, no tears for children brown and bleeding. If your gospel only comforts the powerful and condemns the voiceless, then your Bible is upside down. Jesus said, whatever you do to the least of these, you do to me. Then every bomb dropped on Gaza hits his body. Every blockade in Yemen strangles his breath. And remember the words of Proverbs, speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, for the rights of all who are destitute. And the Quran echoes that same divine order. Oh, you who believe, stand firmly for justice as witnesses to God, even against yourselves or your parents or your kin.
This is where I get confused. So many people, I'll put out a video and so many people will say, again, if we go along the line of what we're talking about today, about that video of looking at the souls within everybody, you can't label an entire society like that programmed me when I grew up in this area, but I broke out of the program. And when you break out of the program, you could see the souls, you could see the humanity. So if you're looking at an entire entity as a subhuman thing, or they're this or they're that, I'm just going to be blatantly honest with you too. I'm not into religion whatsoever. I'm just being blatantly honest with you. I pray, I talk to God. I like the words of Jesus. I try to think like Christ conscious. Meditating, reflecting. That I talk to God everywhere. I don't go to church. I just it's not my thing. No religion. I'm not a big religious guy. Okay, big difference. Now, I get confused. Me growing up, a lot of the comics that I started with that were black, all some of the most kindest human beings I ever met, and the deepest humans I ever met. And when I say deep, I mean they would go extremely like spiritual talks in the street. And then they'd be like, and I realized they weren't drinking or whatever. And then what would throw me off is I go, are you like Christian or something like that? And I'm just saying, I'm being brutally honest. If you're still in the program, that's okay. I'm telling you something truthful. And they're like, no, man, I'm Muslim. I'm like, Muslim? You Muslim? Really? And I couldn't, I was like, well, where's your backpack? Shouldn't you be plotting something? Shouldn't you be yelling Ali Akbar or something like that? Because that's what they're telling us. They're saying you're really bad. You're taking over everywhere. There's a big push right now. Muslims are taking over everywhere. Little side note. If that's who the refugees are, you might want to look up who ran the border. Not Biden, but who was running the border the last couple of years, and who is the head of that? And did they have dual citizenship anywhere? I don't know. It's just a question. I guess some people, they'll watch a video and like, I get a lot of people, and I don't know if they're trying to defend their faith or they're trying to defend what's going on or what happened or blah, blah, blah. But what I can't wrap my head around is I do hear some Christians, because I'm around it, going, you don't understand what it says. What do the Muslims read? I don't even know. Quran, it says in there, you should, chop heads off and play football with it, and they can whatever the fear mongering is for them to be. I bet you, because through my conversations in my lifetime, when I sat down and talked to people and I'd even realize they were Muslim, and I'm not saying everyone should accept all the Muslim and join the Nation of Islam, or I'm saying the human in all of us, should be able to get by all that and be able to have conversations. But be very careful of this new sales pitch that started a long time ago. Brown person, turban, bad. If they're wearing a damn towel around their head, and they got that damn towel and that stupid dress they wear as a man. What kind of man? First of all, if you're a man, you're wearing a dress, it's called, I don't care what it's called, it's a dress. He's a transgender freak, okay? They're the ones that started transgenderism because they're wearing dresses. That's what's going on. They're wearing heads. I'm like, it's 2025. You're wearing a sheet around your head. You can't trust these people. They chop heads off. They're just crazy. They take women and they stick their heads in the sand. They're like, you shall breathe when I can. It's like the freaking propaganda. Be careful of that. Because those of you who still think that's what went into the towers, sometimes the truth hurts. And Joe Rogan exploited CNN as a liar. This, no matter what you believe is going on, an assassination, buildings going down, bombs going off, people getting murdered. Oh, two guys just made a deal. Oh, they're shaking hands. Oh, look at all the men. Look at the size of that rally. Look what's going on over there. Look what's going on. We need to hate them. They have the power to tell you who to hate. And until that television set and those news channels tell you who we should start to love, I don't trust any of it. So when Rogan exploited CNN for lying to the world about ivermectin for the entire universe to see, why would you continue to listen to that news station? Would you hang out? That's the power of news. That's the power of the monster. You can't leave the suction cup of my control. You think you can, but you can't. And they're right. You know why? Here's the genius, sire. They would never hang out with a friend that consistently lied to them. They would never go out with or marry someone that continues to lie to them. They're all about truth. However, as long as the television, where does it get its power, sire? We don't know, but it's captivating. They love it. Perhaps it's the waves that they don't see and grabs them and controls their emotions. My emotions are not controlled by the television whatsoever. Trust the science. Who's going to the rally this week? You better watch out for the Muslims. This comedian sucks. Take down that podcast. The monsters are having a ball. Can you imagine if they're pushing Muslims and Christians to hate one another? It's clear as day. Can you imagine if we started having just deep conversations weekly? Live, and we're just honest and beautiful one, and we get around it. Because up until now, on television, the programs, they didn't allow open conversation. We were programmed. Put the Muslim there, the fake Muslim, and put the fake Jewish guy there, and put the fake Christian there, and we'll show them how to bat. It's all programs, all scripted. But now, there's too much information. We're all learning from one another. And you learn from getting to know everyone. Listen, I don't know what I'm talking about right now. I'm trying to just... These videos, when I hear people trying to defend any type of killing, I get people going, Jim, I love you, but, this is my faith. Let me tell you the history of what's going on over there. Hey, Jim, you should watch this movie, and it'll make you understand what the history of what's going on over there. Jim, if you read the Bible verse this, and this, or the Torah over there, and blah, 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 you'll understand what's going over there. To me, that's the mind control. Because all of you are discussing something that happened 1,000 years ago. This was written, and if you look at the history, and when then that happened, we're talking about what's going on right now. That's the illusion. That's the trick. Well, in this book it says 1,000 years, and that's why they got this area, and they get to shoot them and kill people. I mean, that's what it. Are you really trying to convince people of that? Are we really that stuck as a society that we're willing to back sending weapons to kill people? And we keep using the word terrorist. Stop. If I launch a missile into my neighbor's yard and I kill innocent people, who's the terrorist? Well, they killed us first. All right. Well, let's say you're crazy and you go tit for tat. You went tit for tat, 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 that's still going. And you're willing as a human being, we're all just going to find excuses. I heard one person say, it's a chess game. He's playing chess. Do the Palestinians know they're in the middle of a chess game? Sorry, it's all part of the chess game. Trust me, you're going to love it in the end. What? Is that what you're still, but dude, I was there. He's playing chess. I'm going to sell. You're really going to sit there and go, well, it's a chess game. Do the people that are getting killed, do they know it's a chess game? I don't know. Should they be informed? Just want to let you know, we're going to be playing some chess. It's going to be with some big boys. They're going to rockets, kill you. Got to run, find places to go. It's going to be fun. Good luck. Here we go. Start the game. It's chess. It's chess. Until your kid's blown out of the water. Until your pregnant mother's blown to pieces. Then it's a different game. Anyway, I'm getting a little crazy. On a lighter note, I need you guys to tell me if this is true and show some videos. I don't know about you, but I know where I live. It's been extremely clear. Now they say Florida banned, but check this guy out. Check this guy out.
Would you look at that? Day 17 of the government shutdown. Still no chemtrails. But I'm tired of talking. I'm gonna let those that follow me take it from here.
Perfectly blue skies since the government has been shut down. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia.
I don't know if you're getting it.
Usually chemtrails all
Naples, Florida.
crazy. Nothing.
State of
All
Florida.
I'm saying is pay
This is
attention
California.
to what the skies look like when the government returns to session.
No chemtrails, brought to you by the government shutdown. Thank you. No chemtrails.
And there is that one cloud.
Look at all these
or
areas with no
chemtrail
clouds.
in the sky. Prior to the shutdown, we were supposed to get rain every day. We've got no rain since the shutdown.
The government shut down. There are no trails in the sky. The government can stay shut down. They don't do anything anyway.
Now we know. And let me tell you something. My friends are visiting in Italy, and he showed me a video. They're chemming the snot out of the area he's in. I'll tell you what. Let's see if I can. I did not plan this. I didn't plan this. So, and these guys are like, oh, you're going to lose people. You're going to lose people. You better find it quick. Here you go. Okay. This is, hold on. Boop. Oh, shit. Is that the video? All right. I'm coming. Relax. I'm almost there. He goes, they're chemming the crap out of, oh, my God. There we go. I got it. All right. Check this out. This is, look at this. That's Milan. Can you see that? Can you see that? Think that's natural? Can you see it? That's Italy. That's Milan, Italy, a couple days ago. You're going to try to say that's, when I was in Germany last summer, I see chemtrails everywhere. So, I'm just curious. Can everyone hear me? I had the microphone down the whole time. I don't know if you can hear me, but chemtrails. Do you have the chemtrails still? If you do, start saying something. All of Florida, though, it's been clear blue sky. Clear blue sky. What are you guys laughing at? You're making me self-conscious. Everything all right? Yeah, I didn't. I didn't realize I was talking like this for like 5 minutes. Let's end it with this. Okay, it's gonna be that last video, Kyle. All right. Don't play it yet. Yeah, don't play it yet. Don't touch it yet. We do thank you for encouraging me to stay away from the noise, to not talk too much about it. I do think this is the beginning of incredible times. I really do. And I do thank the people like Joe Rogan, Andrew Schultz, Theo Vaughn, and all the comedians that continue to go on a path to do your thing. Even the ones that wanted trash, go ahead. But just remember, that's what you're going to be remembered for. Was that an oxymoron? Just remember, that's what you're going to be remembered for? No. That's it. If that's what you want to be known for, knock yourself out. I'm not playing their club because they say the R word. They say things that I don't like saying. Okay, well then go to another comedy club. I had to do the same thing. We all had to do the same thing. We don't go on podcasts going, I don't like playing down at the Comedy Cellar because they threw me out because I wouldn't say transgender for 10 minutes. Gosh almighty, rotten old meanies. Like, what are you talking about? Just stop. Just stop. Take that energy and work on you. Work on you. All you that are trashing someone, take that energy you're about to trash and then put it for you and build your empire up. Even the ones that had the empire and watching everyone else build, stop with the he sucks and I wouldn't do that and we shouldn't. You're not the police of humanity. You're not the police of anyone with it doing their thing. Stop. I think this sometimes, everything this guy's going to say. It's a little long, but hopefully stay in it. And years ago, there was something somewhat similar, but it was a voiceover. But I like the way this, I don't know who this guy is, but this is an interesting take. If he was the devil, and this is where I'm telling you, man, just listen. Even if some of you are racist going, I can't look at him because he's a you-know-what. And I've been programmed not to like you-know-what. I bet he's Muslim, too. Whatever you're programmed to hate, shut your eyes and just listen.
If I was the devil, my first victim will be the kids. From the moment they left their mother's precious wombs and were born, I would condition them to see racial division as a norm. And I wouldn't stop till I've stripped their innocence, divide and conquer. It's the oldest trick in the book of Genesis. And see, as they grew up, I would continue my infiltration. For 12 years, I would steal their hearts and minds from them and call it education. If I was the devil, my next victim will be women. I'd make old, out-of-touch men control women's bodies and rights. What better way to curse God than to disrespect the very bringers of life? Speaking of God, if I was the devil when it comes to religion, I put my plan together perfectly. I'd allow you to worship Jesus every Sunday, and on the other 6 days, I'd make you worship me. In the form of money, fame, lust, and greed, to my religion, I wouldn't need to convert you. I turn the 10 commandments to the 10 suggestions and make virtue signaling more important than virtue. I give you just enough religion to hate each other, but not enough to love each other. And for my final evil strategy, I'd make you forget the whole purpose of religion was spirituality. If I was the devil, I wouldn't come dressed in a red cape and pointy horns. I'd drive a Lambo, have a pretty face and a Gucci belt on. Basically, I'd take the form of everything you ever wished for and watch you create your own hell. I don't need to torch the earth. And as far as politicians go, I'd change nothing. They're already doing my dirty work. If I was the devil low-key, I'd be behind the scenes. You wouldn't have to see me. I would normalize dysfunction and call it reality TV. And in this reality, I would attack your self-worth, making it hard to heal from. I'd show you images of fake bodies and make them more attractive than real ones. If I was the devil, I'd make you pray to technology and idolize those who create it. I'd make clout the #1 drug and steal millions of lost souls as they chased it. Now, if I was the devil, I wouldn't do it all at once. I'd take my time instead. I'd eat away at your morals little by little, exactly how cancer spreads. Speaking of cancer, if I was the devil, I'd feed you tasty food that makes you ill. Then I'd turn your doctors into drug dealers, selling you pills that keep you coming back instead of truly heal. Yeah, if I was Lucifer, then I'd know life and death are in the tongue. So I'd make your knife and fork your executioner. See, you can't achieve higher consciousness if your body is sick. You won't opt for positive information if you have inflammation. If I was Satan, my cleverness would be admired. Why do you think the word inflammation literally means to set on fire? If I was the devil, I'd show you how to really flex. I would release pandemics on the world to give people the chance to really care for each other and then sit back and laugh as they exploited and became scared of each other. Basically, if I was the devil, I'd keep doing what I'm doing. God is my witness. I already control your systems. Don't try to fight against this. Because for my last trick, I would make smart people like you doubt whether I ever existed.
I think that guy hit all the points. And that's why I say, if we all just start, just don't be a dick. At the end of the day, it's really that simple. Don't be a dick. Don't be a dick. Just shine light on one another. Don't be a dick. If I was God, I'd say, hey man, don't be a dick. And if you don't know what being a dick is, well, then you're a dick and you got to work on it. It's really that simple. Listen. Take some time for yourself. Stop getting caught up in the headlines, the emotion grabbers, the emotion suckers. We need to grab their emotions higher. They're still looking in every direction. War over here, rallies over here. We have their attention 24/7. Oh, religion's over there and education there. We have them. Entertainment. We have them. Yes. There's a lot of us they don't have. Let's start filling each other's cup up. And let's just inspire one. Can we just do that? Can we be kind again? You know what it's like to go to in the middle of nowhere, a third world country, and they're literally going, we don't need any more. This is an addiction. We need more. It's an addiction. This is worse than heroin. I need to be bigger than blah, blah, blah. I need to be smarter than blah, blah, blah. I need to have more money than blah, blah, blah. No, we just need to be good humans, because that's the thing that feels the best, is when we're good human beings to one another and we honestly care about one another and we're willing to help each other out with every situation, every pain that you're dealing with, every horror that's going on in your mind, any addiction. We're all there and we help one another. That's when we're our best. Let's go be our best. Let's do this. Let's take our shirts off and show them what we got. All right, we'll see you next week. Thanks for listening to me just blah, 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 blah. And thanks whoever's listening still and who's there. I don't know if there's 4 of you or 8 of them or a couple more. A lot? He says there are a lot. Hey, man, leave me messages. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry. I'm really bad at this. February 19th? 19th is going to be my first show in 2026. We're going to go from February 19th to April 3rd. That's the first leg. Then the next leg is April 16th to May 23rd. 2 legs. We're starting, I believe, the tickets aren't on sale. Tickets are not on sale yet. We'll tell you when the tickets go on sale. I believe tickets go on sale November 10th. The first city, I know the city we're starting is going to be Fort Pierce, Florida. What? I didn't see Port St. Lucie. I said Fort Pierce. I said Fort Pierce. I told you Port St. Lucie? No, no. Port St. Lucie, he don't know what he's talking about. Fort Pierce, Florida. And also the Paramount in New York is going to start the second leg. That's the April 16th. Going to start the Paramount, and it's going to end in Orlando, Florida. We're going to hit California. We're going to hit Colorado. We're going to hit the South. We're going to hit the Northeast. We're going to hit Ohio. Just stay tuned to JimBreuer.com. I hate doing this, but they're like, you got to promote. I know. And we will let you know when the tickets go on sale, and I hope to see you all out there. I started working on material, and these guys are killing me because now I got to work on more material because they're just. Everything you're seeing on YouTube. Did the one went out today? It went out Monday. The walking in the room and I don't know where I'm at. What about writing the poem? You put the writing the poem out? It's fine. Listen. I haven't. Okay. I'm going to be going to comedy clubs, working stuff out. I can't really say where yet because I have to wait till tickets go on sale, but maybe some small comedy clubs. I'll be working out material before the tour. Maybe I'll head to Texas. I don't know. Maybe I'll try if I'm allowed. I'm not gonna put it on air. I'll go around and look at other clubs and work out stuff there as well. If time permits and all that jazz and stage time permits. So with that said, tour announcement coming soon. Merchandise coming soon. We got some cool shirts coming out. I don't know what they look like, but I heard they're cool. I heard they're really cool. And that's it. And one other thing. If you get a chance, watch Fred Durst talk about his bassist that passed away in Limp Bizkit. It's a really heavy piece that he put out there. And long story short, it was like Fred Durst knew that his bassist was in trouble and was probably fighting for his life, but he wanted, don't quote me on this. Go watch Fred Durst do this. It's incredible. And he talks about Sam Rivers, of how he chose to take this battle to the end. It's pretty powerful and awesome. And when you're dealing with your mortality, again, a human thing, it's an interesting take where he goes. Thank you for watching Jim Breuer Live. We'll see you next week, Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. Later, Gators.